Yes, here we go. It's the old PMP and a different sort of P for the first P because it's pre-match. Pish, let's be honest. That's going to kick us off before the Scottish Cup final. What a day for it. I am joined by Big Connor Carr, the legend man, who's going to have a few more one-liners up his sleeve. I can tell already, mate. I can already tell. And yes, what a day. We look forward to the Scottish Cup final. Some folk are boring, man. I'll get into it all, but everyone's like, yeah, just all I want to do is settle for the win, man. Just want to settle for the win. I don't want to settle for the win. I want a record, man. I'm all for it. Brilliant to have you all on the bus. As always, we'll get all that good stuff out the way, and then we'll get cracked in to what should be a very, very exciting afternoon. It's always exciting afternoons at the business end of the season when you're a Celtic fan. Right, okay, all that good stuff means do hit the subscribe button if you've not already. If you want to give us a like, share, slag my hair, that's all good as well. If you want to become a Bhoycie Bus member, it's totally optional. It's the $3 sign below the video. It's $1.99 a month. Doesn't get you anything extra. Just keeps the wheels on the road. You can become a Bhoycie Bus member just like Scott Howe, like Joe Brown, like Scott Cameron, like Celts on the Hill, like Seamus Weatherall. And that'll do. And the Bhoycie Bus, I'd still pay $1.99 for it. I've lost the plot. That's like, it's got to be like money laundering or something. Jim Dolan as well. Get in there. Hope these are all good. Brilliant to have so many folk on the bus as well, whether you're a member or not. I don't really care. Also, remember, a big shout out to our main sponsors, ED Pharmacy. I know the orders have been coming in because I have been told, don't worry, there is patient confidentiality and all that. I don't find out who it is. Sadly, I would love to know. But yes, ED Pharmacy for any erectile dysfunctional needs. If you want to stay up all night long, like Lionel Richie, then get along to edpharmacy.co.uk or use the QR code. And remember, you will get 10% off. Also with ED Pharmacy, remember they do same-day delivery 7 days a week to certain areas in central Scotland. Next day delivery for all other areas. That is a service indeed. And Connor, I know what you're like at the weekend, mate. ED Pharmacy be right up your street, son. I don't know about you, mate. Shagger the WhatsApp group. That's all I'm saying. I'm only joking. Right, let's talk about
my bird watches this, man. I'll be getting a fucking bell in a minute. Like, what are you up to?
You're a shagger, mate. I never said multiple people. I never said multiple people, mate. Don't worry about that. You're not like that, mate. You're a good lad. Right, okay, let's get into it. So the lineup is out. If anyone watched Bustalgia last night, I may have told you what the team was going to be. Folk just like me, mate. I don't like kid on them ITK or any of that bollocks, right? I don't give a monkeys. I just have pals that I've never even met, and they just send me stuff that they think is true. And the lineup I got told yesterday evening has been right. Again, that's about the 10th time I've been messaged the lineup of the same person. He's either a really good guesser or he's ITK. He's the one in the know. And I just love just stirring the pot by just calling it early. And the good news with that, though, means it's a first choice team other than CCV. For me, it's the strongest midfield. I don't care about the 3 months Aaron Moy had. Matt O'Reilly is a better player than Aaron Moy for me every single day of the week, I think, anyway. Oh, United going to score. And I think that when you look at the full-back situation, to have AJ back, fully fit, that's good at right back. We wanted that. Iwata instead of Kobayashi is the debate. From what I've seen, I think there's a reason that Ange will have more faith so far in Iwata. And remember, he's got inside scoop on that guy as well because he obviously worked with him before. And the big one, Kyogo. I love how Ange always says it that way, Connery. He still does it. Kyogo. He makes the starting lineup. Might not have trained all week, but they left it up to him. And I think that was fair. I think it was the right decision. Kyogo, the wee guy, up front. And there to terrorise ICT, who have not played in nearly a month. It's fucking Billy Dodds. Do you know what I mean? I was saying this last night. You remember the Man U team talk used to be when they went to White Hart Lane, and it used to just be Alex Ferguson went, it's fucking Spurs. That was all he said. Well, to me today is it's fucking Billy Dodds. Do you know what I mean? Just get on with it. They must be. They've not played in a month, mate. They must be shitting themselves looking at that starting lineup from Celtic today. Jota and Maeda wide as well, of course.
Yeah, it is very like pants-shittingly scary if you're an Inverness player and like good, because I really hope that we absolutely scud them, because people like, obviously it was coupling with the not so good performances after the split and after we won the league, but people were giving it, oh, how are we going to play in the Scottish Cup final? Inverness are a bogey team. You're like, shut up. They're a fucking championship side, not even a decent championship side. They haven't won, haven't been promoted, they haven't made the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? They've got to a Scottish Cup final, and one of it was because what was it? Queens Park fielded an eligible player or something like that. So they then got through to that round, and have just continued off the back of that ever since. So let's be honest, there's nothing to fear here. And look, I'm just coming up with the prediction right away.
Beat
8
anyone? Have they beat anyone of any note? Have they beaten anyone of any note in their run?
I've not been keeping up with it, but I did watch their game against Falkirk, right? How the
Was
fuck
that
they're
the
paid to
quarter-final? Was that the semi-final?
semi, yeah. How the fuck they're paid to be professional football players
Really?
eludes me, genuinely. They were both as bad as each other. Inverness Caley Thistle were just a smidgen no shite. So I'm saying all this, watch them turn into Prime Brazil or something like that, come to play us in the Scottish Cup final. But no, genuinely, I don't think we've got anything to worry about. I think it's going to be an absolute lovely day, hammed in the sun, party time for a treble.
And were you going to give me a wee prediction there of a crazy scoreline?
Yeah, 8-0.
8 now.
8-0. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to talk about that because I think what I find on Twitter is people think they're like the football manager, or they think like I'm like somehow by having crazy opinions could affect the outcome of the result. Whatever we say doesn't affect what happens on the park today, right? We don't. If you think a wee idiot who's far too old to have blonde hair like this, far too old to have a hairdo like this, and far too old to still be wearing Celtic taps, is going to influence because he says he thinks there could be a record win. Just settle for the victory, man. I'm like, what the fuck? We're fans. We're allowed to go all in. We're all in, remember? And I think let's be ambitious here. I mean, and it's not even ambitious. When we beat Dundee United 9-0 away,
Mm-hmm.
this season, we're at Hampden, our second home. And we're playing, as you say, a team that finished sixth in the championship. It's fucking Billy Dodds. There's so much there that it's our first choice lineup, bar CCV. And
Mm-hmm.
that means, though, because I think we're going to have the majority of the ball, you've actually got the better ball player in Iwata, who's now going to be the one coming out for that defence so easily. And because their hope will be to pin it on Starfelt, that's what everyone's team's hopes is. That's just going to give freedom for Iwata. We've got then suddenly only one centre half, and we're going to be all over them, mate. I have got huge high hopes that today could be a day I remember for the rest of my life, and that would be a record. Now you've said 8-0, that would be a record. I've predicted 7. I'm worried though. I mean, it's not all been one way on Twitter. I mean, there's been some other folk who went, I've just stuck 20 quid on 7-0. I'm like, no, no, didn't you listen to me? I'm not. I was just having a laugh. I'm like, Jesus, I'm going to have my door getting chapped tonight and everything by folk, skin toe because they've just lumped on a record win. But yes, I think there's potential there for it to be a very, very special day.
Yeah, I think the question that Inverness will have to ask themselves is, it's not when will Celtic score, it's how many will they score, because you've got that wee man up top, Kyogo, who just, loves these occasions and loves scoring and loves playing for his team. And bearing in mind, this is bar, players like Callum McGregor, Greg Taylor, and maybe a couple of players on the bench. This will be a lot of their first Scottish Cup final, because they got put out in the semi last year. They never played in this, cup final before, and it'll be they're very, very. It's basically going to be like a home atmosphere because we have majority of the support there as well, and it's off the back of a league winning season, so it's basically just going to be a party. Do you know what I mean? The whole game, it's just going to be incredible.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, when I talk about the scoreline, there is a bit of fun involved in that. And of course, we're going to be excited at that prospect. But a fifth treble in 8 years, I mean, to think when Martin won call him Martin now, Cindy Claxon, we've not sounded the Claxon in ages. Where's the Claxon? Where's Martin? There he is. Get in there. When he won that treble, that was like, what? What is going on here? And then we were talking last night about the Tom Rogic goal, and those two finals that year is where the whole Hampden hoodoo shifted, Connor. Do you remember that Hampden was not a place we wanted to go? Remember for years there was the Ross County, there was, funnily enough, Inverness, Caley, Kilmarnock. I mean, it was like, it's like it was a place where we dreaded a wee bit, and Rogers turned it into Celtic's second home, and he deserves credit for that, as do the players, obviously. And now, though, you go from, losing against teams you shouldn't have lost to at Hampden, particularly championship sides like Rangers, on penalties. And you look at it now and you go, since that first treble, we just own it now. Do you know what I mean? We just own it. And we are now on the verge of a fifth treble in the last 8 years. That would mean the sixth treble I've seen in my lifetime. Like, that's insane, because this will only be our eighth ever, and I've witnessed 6 of them. I just think that's astonishing. And bear in mind with the significance of the fact it's the eighth. What does that mean? A world record 8th treble as well. Why not get the hat trick? 5 and 8, astonishing. 8th treble of all time and a world record, astonishing. Record scoreline? Why not add it? I'm greedy.
Yeah, it's it's a thing that with the success with that almost kind of comes an expectancy now, and especially a lot of people from my generation is like, if you go through a season without getting a treble, it's now seen as not a successful season. You're just like, you have to take a step back and think about what you're saying. To not win a treble is not a successful season for Celtic. That's like bonkers territory, because I know that Celtic make it look easy, but it's not. We've seen teams who could be, arguably the better team in the league who can go and win the league. They can't win a treble. The case in point, Rangers shat the bed to win a treble under Gerrard. It wasn't easy for them. St Johnstone went and won a cup double. Do you know what I mean? So it's important to enjoy these days and to take a step back and just realise how special it is, and not get, all right, okay, we won the treble. Right, what's next? What are we going to do next? Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it, man.
Well, I get that, though, because obviously the week leading up to it, we've not really had a chance to preview the fixture as much as we want because of other noise. Now, we're not going to entertain that today because Ange's been pretty true to his narrative. I think, obviously, there's substance to the stories, but if we just listen to the manager, his sole focus is on the cup final. It'd be daft of the bus not to, of course, indulge in those sort of stories like we did on Thursday and kind of just speak about that solely. But today we talk about the game. And we look at Hampden and we're playing Inverness, Caley, Thistle. And to win a treble is never easy. And to get to the stage, though, where the final hurdle of said treble is Caley Thistle, on a beautiful day when you've got your first 11 oven ready to go other than one player. So it's your first choice 10 out of 11 on the park. I mean, it's there to go and win it. And I think, regardless whether I joke about the scoreline or not, I think the treble would be an absolutely incredible achievement. 5 out of 6 trophies for Ange, that would take him up to. The same as what Neil Lennon, I think, won his first 6 in his second spell. And I think it would be something that he had his eye on, because he would have been acutely aware, Connor, of the murmurings. I think he said in his presser, he went, 3 months ago, people started talking about trebles, mate. He gets it up here. He knows that is the law of the land, that people will talk about that. I just feel that sometimes you're right. It's easy to take these things for granted. I go from one side of the pendulum to the other, though, because today I'm full of appreciation of the fact that there's treble, and I'm getting reminiscent about winning it in 2001 when we won the treble, the first time I'd ever seen it, and I'm like, fucking hell, that was like a out-of-body experience then. Now it's the norm. So you need to have those appreciative days. But of course, earlier on in the season, I'm like, I'll see another treble. I want European success. It's not, I just think it's funny how your mind shift can change. Once it gets to the business end of the season, you can only win the competitions you're in. And Celtic have got a brilliant chance of doing that. And I just think with the team as well, that these guys now already seem to have that different mentality to what they maybe did when they joined, because until you play for Celtic, you don't realise how important winning is, right? And I think under a serial winner like Ange, that helps the cause. And now, by the time we've got round to the potential 5th trophy out of 6, I'm more confident than ever that I'm doing it, whether it was Inverness or whether it was Rangers, to be honest with you today, because I've got a feeling these guys know how to get the job done. Very quickly, I will give a shout out, Jim Dolan, to your granddaughter, Aria. Hello, how are you? She's 8 and she's pestering the life out of me. Well, I hope you're well, Aria, and I hope you've got the hoops on and you enjoy the cup final. But anyway, Connor, you try and focus on what I was just saying there. I can't even mind already.
You're looking at. But no,
I wonder sometimes when you're on if you're just like.
I definitely am. See, there's very much time. See, where it's like the four of us, like, see, as soon as like they're not engaging me, my mind just like it's just a way. I'm just like, very much like one of those wee fucking like bobblehead dogs that sits on your desk. But no, yeah, it's very much a very positive thing, the mentality that Postecoglou's put in the team, because as Alistair Johnson said yesterday, obviously they're very much aware of the outside noise that's been going on with regards to the manager's position, and they said they're not letting it affect them. Now, you believe that 100% because you know from previous experience and watching them what this team's like. If this was, say, Rangers or somebody like that we're having, I mean, I know who the fuck would want Michael Beale to be their manager, but let's just flip the script and say it was them and there was things about players leaving or the manager moving on and they were very much, they didn't know what was going on and they said, oh yeah, we're not going to let it affect us. Mate, you said in a game before he's got beat off Hamilton, if you struggle against other teams in the league and it affects your mentality. Your Hall of Fame winning captain said that, so it's very much a positive.
Well, we made it to 17 minutes and Connor Carr's managed to have a pop at Rangers. That's a new record, son.
I know. We should get a wee board with different timesheets.
Get your Rangers jar. A Rangers jar.
Aye.
You need to put a quid in every time you start slagging them off. You'll make a fortune.
I know. Yeah, so it's really important that obviously, you know, the players are all focused. And do you know what? I know it's like there's very much a mentality and we need to win and we need to do the best we can. But they'll be looking forward to this. They'll be like wanting to have fun at this game. They'll be like licking their lips at the fact that they're playing Inverness Caley Thistle. And look, people can say, oh, you're being disrespectful towards your opposition. I think we've got a right to be. Not to be a dick if there's any Inverness fans watching.
Like,
exactly. We've got a right to be.
Again, we don't do the PR for Celtic or anything like that. I don't get employed by the club to go, well, you can't say anything disrespectful to the opposition. I'm a supporter. We talk as if we're in the pub on the bus. Let's get that right. And if we think Inverness Caley are shite and they're for the taking, why would we not say it? I don't care about being disrespectful. That's your gift. We are not towing a party line, mate. That is not what the bus is about. So you're absolutely spot on. If you think we're going to cuff them, let's cuff them.
Aye. Well, they said we'll cuff them 8-0. Kyogo hat-trick, Starfelt, Johnston to get another goal. Who else? Who else think will score? Who else you
Jota for me. Jota's a lovely boy.
Mm-hmm.
I think for first scorer, I would go Jota. I just think he's got a knack for it. Do you know one of the things that really encourages me about the game today as well? If you look at that display against Aberdeen, there's two sides to this corner. Firstly, the mojo was back because it mattered. And I spoke about this with you before. The reason it mattered was Trophy Day, you have a responsibility, mate, to the 60,000 fans on their final gig at Celtic Park for, till the new season. Having been there in the rain, the snow, the cold, you've got a duty to perform for them in that last day, right? And that adds a wee bit of extra responsibility on the part. So, i.e., you could say in the post-split, the most important game was Trophy Day, because it's 60,000 fans that pay your wages, and you've got to put on a show for them before you lift that trophy. So when the pressure was slightly raised, and I'm not saying it was crazy intense, but as soon as there was some sort of importance factored into that game, the level of performance went, right? So they never left us. And spoke to Open Goal about it. He went, like, they're human beings. He's like, once the trophy was won, of course there was going to be a drop-off. And he goes, and I overcomplicated it by trying too many changes. That's what he said. I think that's just the reality and that's the facts. I don't think it's excuses. I just think that is the facts. Now, what encourages me is when there was that greater importance, as I say, the performance level went up, the scoreline was 5-0. But here's the other takeaway, Connor. It was towards the end. Rather than just dropping off and enjoying the occasion, we went pedal to the metal, mate, and started scoring those flurry of late goals. Now, you think if Aberdeen, a team who were playing week on week at that point with something to play for each week, with a new manager they're trying to impress, think what their fitness levels are at, and they were bust. Caley haven't played in a month.
Mm-hmm.
And if Celtic adopt that attitude from the weekend and take that form into today, this is where I'm going with it. Like, it's crazy what could happen.
Yeah, like it has the potential to be a murder scene at Hampden today on the football pitch. And Kyogo's going to be the scalpel, I think, today. He's going to be cutting through their defence like a fucking knife through butter. But yeah, it's very much a very encouraging sign, if you want to put it that way, that they haven't played a competitive game in over a month. Now, I don't doubt that they haven't, played behind closed doors friendlies or whatever the fuck, but that's nothing to, playing in a cup final against the best team in the land, who would give a lot of teams in the Prem, I think, a run for their money. Let's not, beat around the bush. This is one of the best Celtic teams we've seen in forever, in a long, long time. They went and beat the goal record that was set by the greatest Celtic team of all time, the Lisbon Lions. They've went and bettered that. Do you know what I mean? So if you're coming up against that, I think the boys in Inverness, Caley Bus might as well just fuck off back up there and just say, oh, we're going to forfeit, because they could be in for a wee bit of embarrassment today.
Do you think when you look at the lack of appetite they've had for the game in terms of the fixtures, we expected the whole of Inverness to come down, and I think they've had bigger crowds come to Hampden in the past than that's occurred this time. That gives you a wee bit of insight into the hope, doesn't it, that they seem to have?
They think that they're accepting the inevitable, almost.
That's what it feels like, because it's very unusual. I mean, Inverness is a city. Is Inverness classed as a city now?
Yes, it is, yes.
It's a good night out, by the way. Good night out.
Inverness. I've been on a night out, right enough.
I went on a stag do there, mate. We got like apartments kind of just outside the town centre. We were in the town, man. We were having it. It was good there, man. Really good. But I really think, though, when you look at their fans' appetite for snapping up those tickets, it's definitely less than what they would normally do. And I think you can read into that what you may. That tells me they're like, fuck this. This is like it's a non-starter.
You had some fucking crackpots in their support. I gave them a 50-50 split, and you'd be like, what? So they can embarrass the nation by not turning up to a cup final. Sorry,
they're not doing that, though. They're not doing that. They're not trying to to embarrass the nation.
No, I know, but I know that, but it doesn't leave a good look on the game if you can't fill out a stadium for a cup final. I understand trailing all the way down for Inverness is, not the easiest thing, and with prices and that now, but
knowing you're going to get beat, that's the problem.
aye, that as well. That also comes into a factor.
I think we were talking about it last night for quite a bit. The thing with this being a 5:30 fixture really raises eyebrows about the governance of the game, doesn't it? Because he's literally on record saying that the reason for this is so that, we don't clash with BBC England or BBC UK, whatever you want to call it. And then it gives more people scope to watch the Scottish Cup final. They're not even showing it outside Scotland, mate. It's not even been shown. And it turns out there was a guy, I was saying this last night, I don't want to repeat myself for those who were on the bus last night, but there was a guy called Grant Russell, STV Grant, something like that anyway. I might have just added Russell to it.
And he was showing what was on instead of the Scottish Cup final.
It was like, it got to the stage it had been like the last 15 years they've never shown it. So when that gets highlighted to you, and yet your chief executive of our Scottish Football Association is pinning the reason of moving the game because of a reason that is it's either a lie or he didn't know. It's either incompetence or blatant lying. Why not tell us why we're pandering to this bollocks? Do you know what I mean? because I just don't get Man City have just won the FA Cup, by the way.
What was it, 3-1?
Was it not 2?
Oh, is the game finished?
Right, it's finished.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
They've just won the FA Cup. That's what I said,
Oh,
Connor.
I thought you meant as in like the score. I didn't know what type was finishing.
No. When I say they won, they won. When I look at that, I go, why the fuck are we playing at 5:30 today? These are two completely different prisms. For me, I'm like, if you're watching Celtic, Inverness, Caley, Thistle, you are in. You are all in. You are watching Inverness, Caley, Thistle. It doesn't matter what else is on at the same time.
Do you think the reason they moved it to 5:30, right, is because it's just Inverness, Caley, Thistle we're playing? See if that was Rangers that were in the Scottish Cup final with us, not a chance it'd be a 5:30, because they know for a fact that everybody in their mob would be bevying all day, and there would eventually possibly be trouble. So they would maybe try and move it before, or they would have to just put it in its allocated slot like it's always been at 3 o'clock. Look, how many people in Scotland know, right? It was on the TV before, but if the Scottish Cup final was on at the same time as the FA Cup final today, how many? If you asked 100 people, how many of the 100 do you think would choose to watch the FA Cup final?
This is it. I don't know, and if any, none. I don't think anyone's switching about, and I think it just always makes it look like we're like the inferior little brother of something that's not even affecting us. It's not even affecting us, mate. Manchester Derby, FA Cup final does not affect BBC Scotland's coverage or Viaplay's coverage of Celtic against Inverness, Caley, Thistle. Just do the right thing and have the courage of your convictions just to go, we always go at 3 though. Why would we change it? Why? And if you're going to give me a reason, at least make it one that actually is true. So that's what I don't get, because he's never actually had to come out and explain that when it's been proven. Well, that excuse you gave us is utter bollocks. Why have you never had to come out and sort of then give us what the next reason was? There's something that they don't want you to know. There's some decision behind it. I think, to me, they just don't want to accept. They waved the white flag and they went, "Oh, we're sorry. BBC told us we couldn't do it." It's like, BBC didn't pay any money for the rights to this. This is crazy. You haven't even got a sponsor for it. Just fucking stick it on at 3 o'clock. You useless, shiverish bastards. You know what I mean? But,
I mean, there is a BBC channel that's specifically dedicated to Scotland, and it's free for people to watch. Why not just stick it on that? Because the FA Cup final's on BBC One, but there is, BBC Scotland. So why not just stick it on that?
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
It's fucking pathetic. It's genuinely pathetic, and it makes like them and like the whoever the fuck's in charge just look absolutely like wee worms, just like quivering and cowering before the fucking boot of the English fucking media and the demands of Sky and the BBC, because they don't want to upset the apple cart. You're just like, just fuck off. Like, you generally don't want this league to improve. You don't want the sport to improve or to be watched by more people. You're just happy to get what you're given, and then you carry on from there. You're like fucking Oliver Twist begging for a bowl of gruel. It's fucking pathetic, honestly. It really fucks me off.
I love this from Irish Stories.ie. Hope you're good, Irish Stories. Did you see on Paddy Power you come back how many times they will mention Tottenham / Spurs in the commentary? That is interesting. Eh? The sideshow, Connor, is one for me. I am in a very zen place. I'm not up and down about this. I feel that whatever happens with Ange, I think his focus this week has been on the prize. Do I think he's got maybe representatives that have maybe been approached, and Celtic have maybe been approached by Spurs, and maybe they do want to have a chat with him? I don't think they've offered him anything yet. And I think Angel leaves folk like that to it, and he's like, cup final, mate. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a fucking nobody if I don't win against Inverness. So there's nothing wrong with what Ange has done so far. And I think anyone who wants to read into this past week of Ange almost, sort of almost seeming like he's been disingenuous at times, or he's been a badge, because I don't feel like that, mate. I feel like Ange has really been pretty straight with everyone. He's not denied anything. He's not said I'm staying forever as of yet. That could be because of that. I don't know why I went all high pitched. I was like my voice was breaking again. That might be because he's he's going to do a blockbuster announcement that he's staying. You just don't know what's up his sleeve. One thing about Postecoglou is he's the hardest man to read in the world. Look at his transfers he's brought into Celtic. Nobody's had a clue when he's announced them.
Oh,
Look at his arrival when he joined Celtic. It was, his name got linked one day and the next day he was done. He was in.
yeah.
Right? And it was like, this guy's a man of mystery, mate. I think he's kept his cards close to his chest. The same way he joined us, it could be the same way he leaves. Or it could be the same way that he decides, by the way, it was all bollocks. I've been consistent. You haven't listened to me. I'm staying. And I think right now what we've got to appreciate is this season has been about trophies. And that's all he's focused on doing is win another trophy. Slickster S comes in and he's obviously a wee bit on the noise. But that's okay, Slickster. You've met, you've came in the right chat for that. Do you think Celtic fans will start to realise managers and players are not pals for life? I'm going to tell you this, Slickster. I'm not actually that far away removed from the argument you're making. I have said a few times, I don't think Ange is my, jolly green uncle. Do you know what I mean? That's, he just, I'll never leave. I don't think it's fair to put that on him. I think if you want elite managers, then you need to expect elite actions by them. And if you look at all the best managers across Europe, they all at one point have an itch they want to scratch, and that is the EPL, whether we like it or not. And if people think Postecoglou would never leave for Spurs, Ancelotti was Everton manager 4 years ago. Ancelotti was the Everton manager because he wanted back in that prism because the money's too good on offer, the spotlight's too good, even if he was just using them. I think Ange has gained my respect more this week, the way he's conducted himself. I think it's been absolutely superb. I would actually be happier for him now if he wins this treble, no matter what happens after. Obviously, I'm pining for him to stay, right? Let's get that absolutely crystal clear. But whatever happens, I'll not have any grudges against this guy no matter what. And I love the fact that he's kept his full focus all about Glasgow Celtic. I think that's been brilliant this week.
Yeah, he's very much, he's not like some pantomime villain who's, like, kind of jerked their legs a wee bit with, saying, oh, is he going to go, is he going to stay? He's not been like that. He's very much like, people need to, and this is coming from me, people need to listen to what he says and pay attention. He's not said he's going. He's not said, oh, I'm leaving. But he has said, I'm focusing on this game. What will come, will come. And you need to just accept that. And look, the meltdown is coming more so. But by the way, people are getting fucking their knickers in a twist about this. People aren't really necessarily thinking about Ange leaving. It's about who we're going to bring in and about who this board are going to decide to appoint as the next manager if he does decide to go. And the meltdown and the crying and the, he's just as fucking bad as Rodgers, he's going to be a rat. And you're like, just shut up. Honestly, the amount of people that have been absolutely losing their mind over this is a bit pathetic. And look, I've been very much like, is he staying? Is he going? I don't know. I kind of want it to be all over. I want some clarity. Everybody wants a bit of clarity. But there's some people who are absolutely taking it to the next level and going back to interviews he did 7 or 8 months ago and taking these interviews apart word by word, piece by piece, for some tiny wee morsel of information to find out whether he's staying or not. Look, if he decides to go, he decides to go. He'll have our blessing and hopefully does well at Tottenham. And maybe, if he's wanting to take a couple of our players, pays a really good fee for it and we can reinvest that. But here's the thing, there's no one bigger than the club. And some people don't realise that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, at the end of the day, Ange is focused on the job at hand. What more could you want? He's not letting distractions that could be very exciting and financially beneficial to him distract him from winning trophies. He's got the absolute biggest opportunity ever to look at that wee Diddy I'm watching on my telly right now, Neil McCann, and smugly smile at him, give him a wee wave. Because pricks like that deserve the misery that they'll get. I mean, I don't know what his appearance fee is today, Neil McCann, but God, it must be shit. It must be shit to be Neil McCann right now. Get it right round you. Ange is going to come out today with a professional approach. He's going to have Celtic in the best frame of mind. The players, AJ said it, we don't let anything in. We don't let anything get in. The manager doesn't let anything get in. So don't worry about this. We are fully focused, and then whatever happens, happens. Slickster saying, check Angie's history. Usually leaves or gets sacked around year 2 or 4, or year 2 to 3. All managers do, Slickster. That's the general managerial sort of lifespan right now. So, again, like I say, I'm very 50-50 on it. I think today, though, is all about, and there's wee Billy, not a clue what's coming his way. Not a clue. But I think from Angie's point of view today, it's all about Celtic. And again, he would hate, absolutely hate, for the story this week to be about him. He's not enjoying it. He doesn't want it to be. He wants to focus on the players and the team. And he wants today to be all about the team again as well. I think it'd be wishful thinking that he's going to announce either way after today, because once we win that trophy, again, he'll be consistent and it'll be full respect to the players. Let them lap it up. And then next week, everyone can talk some business and we find out what is what. Connor, that's 10 past 5. We've done 35 minutes, mate. You've predicted 8-0. I think it'll be 7. Alan Woods thinks it'll be 5. There's Pam just jumped in as well. Yes, Pam, welcome aboard. We're going to call it there. I'm going to go and lap up the opening 20 minutes. Of the last 20 minutes, I should say, of the coverage. I like it when they're all lining up. I wonder if Angie's wearing like one of those big flowers and that. Do you know what I mean? But we'll get lost in atmosphere. Me and Terry will be back after the trophy lift tonight for some PMP. Connor, thanks and enjoy your day, mate.
You too, guys. Everybody in the bus, have a good day. Hail, hail, moon the hoops.
Yes.